Okay, again, my camera's about 6.5 feet up. It's not a real low tide. It's a fair to midland tide. Um, again, yeah, I gotta laugh because this next part right here is really a mind boggler. You can be the judge of it. You can tell me what you think after this one. Uh, but again, you know, I really do pride myself on going out and being persistent at these uh, observations and trying my best to make heads or tails out of them and then explain them to the best of my ability. Again, here we got some really mind boggling effects that are going to occur. Um, Now you see the boat that's a little bit further away on the right, how it's getting stretched upward. That's in that band that I'm saying that displaces the actual horizon. Right off the bat, I see a little bit of compression going on, and some stretching going on to the boat to the right. Again, above the orange pontoon boat, you can see a distant object out there. Also, you'll see me trying to get the best focus I can on this. That's always the thing, trying to get the best focus. The boat to the right, you actually see the Fata Morgana going on, but yet the boat that's farther in the background, you can see how tiny it is and how far away it is compared to these boats that are up closer. And the distance between those boats, um, again, you know, it tells you that that little bit of sliver there is a long distance, even with this band of distortion that is actually above the boats. But watch how this distortion starts reacting to these boats. And this is why I kind of stuck to them, because it was like, you know, I'm seeing this boat out there and I'm seeing it turning, twisting, and then, you know, it slowly starts moving away. And then you see the top of the boat start with its, again, this is light distorting the top of that boat. It's a white top to that boat. And you start seeing it stretch, not only up, but watch it start stretching downward too. It's like compressing, stretching. It's doing all kinds of funky things. Um, but this is what's cool about doing these kind of observations, is when you see this occurring, now you see the bottom of the boat is starting to stretch downward. You get that mirroring effect that's occurring, but you also see how the boat itself is also being compressed. This boat is compressing downward as its mirroring is occurring. This is obscuring the bottom of the boat. Meanwhile, this boat to the right is like flipped upside down above itself. Now, these boats are, uh, I don't even want to say that they're really not that far out there. They're not like these boats right here are not like 5 miles away or nothing. These boats are much closer. These boats should be perfectly visible from my height, because I'm thinking they're about 2.5 miles away, somewhere right in that range. Could be a little bit further, but I think I'm pretty sure that this boat's after that midway point, the midway marker, which I think that's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. Um, but again, you see that everything's in this band and how everything's starting to get stretched upward on both boats. You see the Fata Morgana going on the right hand side, while the closer boat's getting mirrored underneath it. And watch this, watch these mirroring effects. Watch the compression, watch the stretching, the towering, and the magnification. It's all happening all at the same time within this little band um, of water. The cool part is fixing to come up. And when you see it, it is mind-boggling, because you got to ask yourself, what the hell am I seeing? Again, you're going to see this boat really do some major distortion, especially this orange pontoon boat. Not only is it being mirrored downward, it's being stretched way downward. Watch it. And then watch what happens to the boat itself, how it gets compressed as its mirror kind of gets stretched away from it. Its mirror image. It's being stretched across this, I mean, with a big gap in between. Um, so you have to ask yourself, well, what the hell is going on there? I mean, look at this. Um, this is a stretched out mirroring effect that is due to, if you ask me, just the weather conditions. And then you see the boat to the right, how it's still is like Fata Morgana, flipped upside down on top of itself, but it looks much, much further away. Meanwhile, the orange pontoon boat is being stretched a mile long. Uh, you know, I mean, if you look at it in a perspective of how far is that being mirrored, it's being mirrored a good long distance across the surface of the water. Now, how can you have that on a curved surface? Again, there should be no curvature detected within this short distance from my location to where these boats are located. And again, here you got this gap separating the two. Meanwhile, you notice how I was in really good focus with these, and then it's also in this distortion zone, um, this mirroring zone, magnification zone. You could name it all kinds of names. It honestly is just distorting everything and stretching it out, not only downward but also upward. So this is why I say that the true horizon is very, very hard to find. You can get it sometimes, like my sun video where the sun departed above the Bayport rack. Now, I think that some of that was displacement of the horizon. The horizon was displaced a tad bit. Not much on that video, but it was displaced. Now, look at both these boats. I mean, they're both being stretched upwards. They go from down to up because this weather condition is not only, it's moving in and out. Like it went back further. It was up closer. Now it's moving away. It could be just a big hot pocket of air that moved through. Again, you know how you can get water if you're out swimming in the water. You can feel hot and cold pockets in the water. I know when I go down to Sanibel Island and get out there in that water, I notice things, you know, how the water can be warm in one area and cold in another. And a lot of times I'm looking for that cooler water to get into, because who wants to be down there and, you know, not only you're cooking on the beach, but you get in the water and the water is hot like bathtub water. So, you know, you're trying to find these little cool pockets to set in to cool off. But again, now all of a sudden, everything's going back to normal. This distortion area moved further back. As you can see that boat to the right has a little bit of its image still being mirrored above it. It's still Fata Morgana. And it almost makes it look like there's another boat further beyond, but that's just an image, a mirror image of this boat that's underneath it. And you'll watch it just vanish here in a second, which should tell you, here it goes, it's gone. And then everything's back to normal. So again, this mirroring, or this ether band, mirroring zone, magnification zone, it's just moved away. It moved further off from these boats. And I could put some arrows out there and show you where that band is still, but it is above these boats in that little wider section is where this mirroring band went to. Now I can't, prove it to you because there's not another boat in that area to show you. But again, this is why I wanted to put these videos out, because I really think that they're important. Very, very much you can learn from them quite easily and start understanding these effects that are occurring. And when they tell you that something is being pulled up from beyond a curve, it's not. There's no way you're going to refract something up above a curve. Now they say that you got inferior mirages, superior mirages, and all of these. And if you read the description or the definition of these, it says, do not believe your eyes. Well, I don't think you should just not believe your eyes, but you probably should not believe your ears either on what they're telling you about something being raised above a curve. I have never seen any practical observations done of something being pulled up in real life, in real time, without somebody using a trick of using butane, to cause an object to appear to pop up from behind a object. We don't have butane out here in our air. It's just heat, evaporated water, these weather conditions that are occurring, light diffraction, light reflection. And this is why I can't, get past the point where, again, where I started out wanting to debunk flat Earth, and yet in my journey through trying to debunk it, I actually became a flat earther. Now, again, I've mentioned concavity. Is it possible that Earth could have some concavity to it? Well, why sure it can. If you freeze ice, say you got a little kiddie pool and you have it and it starts freezing, where does it freeze at first? It doesn't freeze in the middle first, it freezes on the edges first, and the edges become higher than the center. The center is still water, and the outer part, because ice expands, right? When it freezes, it expands, so it gets higher on the edges than it does in the center. I had a 5-gallon bucket of water one year freeze in my driveway, and the center wasn't quite frozen. And when I looked at it, it didn't dawn on me, but going back and thinking about that, I noticed how the edges were higher than the center, which I gotta say, I dumped that bucket of water out and looked at it, and you could see how there was a dip to the very center of it, dipping down. Again, is that proof of concavity, or is that proof of flat Earth? No, but it does give you an idea that the farther outer edges of the circling sun. Now, some people don't think the sun circles Earth. I kind of do think it does, but that's me. That's my opinion. Now you can see this this band occurring further out, like above from the green sign upward. So it's still present. It's just again moved back further, and you can see the bird fly through there, and you can see its mirroring effect going on with that bird. Again, I'm wanting to keep these short, as much as possible, so I can keep people's attention. Again, thanks for watching, and get ready for the next part.